Italy, a country located in southern Europe, is known around the world for its beauty, architecture, and cuisine. That being said, its economy is not too bad either, but it's not the powerhouse you'd expect from an Italian supercar. To understand its situation today, we need to take a look at the history. Italy is much younger than you think. It was only ever unified in 1861. It was actually a very poor European nation if you compare it with other European nations at that time. For example, it only had a GDP per capita half that of the British and 75% that of the French and the Germans. Thus, its citizens struggled economically for most of the 19th century. This, coupled with the stagnating economic growth, encouraged many Italians to emigrate to America, with Italians settling in Argentina, the USA, and Venezuela. However, things did look bright for the Italian economy towards the end of the 19th century. The cities in the north, like Milan, became developed in the textile, chemicals, banking, and engineering industries, creating jobs and encouraging Italians to leave the rural towns and to migrate to the city, increasing urbanization. Despite this, under the fascist regime of Mussolini, Italy's economy began to go in the opposite direction. Mussolini started increasing government intervention in the economy. This led to many protectionist policies being introduced. As well as government acquisitions post-World War II, Italy's economy was in pieces and fell drastically behind those of more advanced European countries. However, luckily for Italy, help was at hand. During the Cold War, Italy was a fragile democracy. It was considered by the United States of America as an important ally for the free world, and as a result of this, it received over $1.2 billion under the infamous Marshall Plan, which helped kickstart the Italian economy. As the aid through the plan came to an end, there were worries that the economy would not be able to sustain itself. But luckily for Italy, this period coincided with the Korean War. This drastically increased demand for manufactured goods that could be produced in Italy and would help grow the economy. The decades that followed are recognised as the golden era for the Italian economy, with growth rates averaging 5 to 6%. Italy's economy ballooned in size in 1987 and surpassed the UK's economy to become the fourth richest nation in the world, after the US, Japan, and West Germany. Unfortunately for Italy, though, this success did not continue for too long after, and from the late 90s, the Italian economy began to stagnate. This stagnation had many causes, from restrictive economic policies, red tape, and the use of the euro, which has resulted in Italy not being able to devalue its currency in order to boost exports and therefore growth, a tactic that could be used to get the Italian economy back on track. So, with all that said, what does Italy's economy look like today? Italy's economy is large. It's the fourth largest economy in Europe after Germany, France, and the UK, and it ranks 8th globally, ahead of countries with much larger populations such as Russia and Brazil. Like many advanced economies, Italy's economy is dominated by the service sector, which comprises 74% of all economic activity, and noteworthy industries within the service sector included tourism, banking, and insurance. In fact, Italy is a global leader in the tourism industry, and with its beautiful beaches, amazing food, and incredible historic sites to visit that may disappear soon, it's easy to understand why. Back in 2018, Italy received more than 62 million international visitors that ranked it 5th globally. And more importantly for the economy, it generated 189 billion euros revenue. Perhaps Italy's economy is far more famous for its manufacturing sector. It is a global leader in exporting luxury goods, whether they be cars, boats, food, robots, or furniture. Italy's economy seems to make and export everything. For example, its automotive industry plays a significant role in the economy, contributing to 8.5% of Italy's GDP and employing more than 480,000 people. Brands like Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Maserati are world famous and cater to a specific type of clients. The success of the Italian manufacturing sector is down to its ability to excel in the niche markets. Italy know that they cannot compete on price when compared to emerging markets, so as a result they have specialised, and for the most part this has been successful, since for clients who buy the latest sports car or designer handbag, price doesn't play a significant role in their destination to purchase the item, rather it's the quality of the product, and that's where Italy's Made in Italy label comes in handy. With a reputation of being the forefront of design and Milan being arguably the fashion capital of the world, Italian manufacturing firms benefit from decades of Italy's reputation of being a stylish nation. This stylish factor is one of the many that separates Italian consumer goods from many other nations around the world. With all that said, how do Italy rank when compared to their counterparts in other highly developed nations today? Italians on the whole are ranked as pretty wealthy individuals. Their GDP per capita, for example, ranks 26th globally, which isn't bad at all. However, what must be understood is that northern Italy and southern Italy are drastically different economically. For example, in the northern regions of Lombardy, Trentino, and Emilia-Romagna, their GDP per capita ranks them alongside German and Dutch regions. Whereas southern regions like Calabria and Sicily are more comparable with Estonia, Portugal, and Slovenia. The divide between the north and the south of Italy could be a whole separate video, but it's important to mention it since it skews a lot of the nation's data. With regards to employment, Italy is not the most active country. Its employment rate at the end of 2019 was only 59%, far lower than Germany and more in line with Spain and Costa Rica. However, critics of measuring such data mention that Italy's unofficial economy is very large, producing anywhere between 10 and 20% of Italy's GDP, and therefore many workers are simply not being counted in the national statistics. That does give the impression that Italians are not as active as their European neighbours. Also, the duration of one's working life data compiled by Eurostat showed that for 2019, the average duration of one's working life in Italy was only 32 years, the shortest in the whole of the EU. This statistic is drastically different when compared to other EU countries like Sweden, Portugal, and Ireland. Italy's economy over the last century has been on a roller coaster. It's gone from being evaded by the Allies to becoming the fourth largest economy in the planet to becoming a stagnant economy that excels in niche areas. Some of its companies may be world leaders in certain industries, but there's no denying that the economy as a whole has been lagging behind for its peers for a while now. Some of its companies may be world leaders in certain industries, but there's no denying that the economy as a whole has been lagging behind its peers for a while now. I'd expect that in the future, the Italian economy as a whole will continue down a route of slow growth that sees it fall behind even more of its European neighbours, and the divide between its north and south will keep on growing. However, perhaps the correct governance that encourages innovation and participation in growing industries, Italy can escape a somewhat murky future. Thank you everyone, especially those that stay till the end. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Until next time, ciao.